Welcome back, fiber friends. Today we're going to talk about thwacking. I know thwacking is a funny word, but it is a real technique that we use in spinning, and it does have a specific purpose, so it shouldn't just be used willy-nilly on every single skein of yarn. Maybe that's the wrong way to put it. So actually, it's more that I do think that a lot of spinners don't actually understand why or what thwacking actually does. So before you make the choice to thwack your next skein of yarn, let me tell you a little bit about thwacking. So there are a few reasons that we thwack yarn. One of them is to help even out twists throughout the skein of yarn, as well as even out the amount of fiber. So if you are a new spinner and you want your yarn to look a little bit more even, you can thwack it to help even everything out. Thwacking yarn also gives it a fuzzier, more woolen structure, and thwacking is more effective on woolen yarns, and I'll explain why. So these were all woolen spun yarns that I thwacked, and you can see first that they do have a very significant halo on all of them. This is going to be something that occurs when you thwack yarn, so if you want a truly worsted spin and you don't want any halo or fuzziness to your yarn, you want it to be very shiny, don't thwack your yarn. Although thwacking a worsted yarn is less effective because all of the fibers are facing the same direction and much more compact, so there is less room for them to actually move around up and down the yarn and therefore even out the yarn. But another reason that, again, you might not want to thwack a worsted style yarn is because when you thwack a worsted style yarn, you're essentially undoing some of the, benefits of this prep. Now, if you want your worsted yarn to have a halo, by all means, give it a nice thwack. However, it's important to know that not only will thwacking be less effective in terms of evening out the yarn in a worsted spin, but it's also going to undo some of that almost tight shininess that a worsted spin has. Now, a lot of people opt to spin some of the more matte fibers in a worsted style prep to help get back some of the shininess, like with this merino. But again, a lot of that could be undone if you end up thwacking your yarn. So if you're finding that with your worsted spins, they're coming out really, really fuzzy, even though you're feeling like you're doing everything right, if you thwack all of your skeins, that might be why you're ending up with very fuzzy skeins. Logic follows then that obviously with a woolen prep, this is the opposite. Because the fibers are all facing different directions and there are air pockets in between these fibers, it's much easier for the fibers to move up and down the yarn and the twist, and therefore the thwacking is a lot more effective on woolen spins. Thanks for watching, and the next time I thwack some yarn, you'll get a how-to video on this as well.